Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Monster Legends video. And in this video I'll be bringing you a review of Teddie VR, who is another monster that is from the cosmic category and is going to be coming to the game very soon. Now when and how is still a question that is yet to be answered, because we do not know in what event this monster will be available as of yet, but as soon as I have information about that, I'll be sharing it with you. Now before I begin, I have been looking at my YouTube analytics and I was surprised to see that about 70% of the people that watch me are still unsubscribed. So guys, if you're watching this video and like it, please do not forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the like button and turn those notifications on so that you get the first and foremost access to all of the sneak peeks, leaks, important deals and offers in the game, and so that you improve your game as well. Now having said that, I'll begin my review starting with Teddie VR's trait. Now this monster is from the Earth category and we have the trait. At rank 0 this monster is hardened, and at rank 1 it's tough. At rank 3 it has a status caster self damage protection of 50%. Now let me start with a rank 0. Now hardened is always the trait to have when you are looking for a monster that is usable and has some chance of not being denied / being affected by status effects, DOTs, etc. And then tough is basically an improvement of hardened, that is a 35% reduction in you not being hit basically. So at rank 3 we have a special kind of trait. Now we do not see this trait on a lot of monsters, and I think this works perfectly with the skills of this monster. So if you get this monster, be sure to have enough cells to rank it at rank 3. This is where this monster shines basically. So that's self damage protection is 50%, so whatever the incoming attacks are, the damage output will be reduced by 50%. That means that half of the damage output will be received by you only. So now that we have discussed the trait and we have discerned that this trait is a good trait to have, now as for the skills, let me just zoom in. So for the skills, I have already gone over them, and what I've come to realize is that this monster will be very hard to kill, and that this monster is an attacker, so he's a pretty tanky attacker, and I can base a prediction on these skills as well, that he's going to have a moderately high attack stat and have a tanky life and a slow speed, because that's what generally we have been seeing the trend of monsters so far. Now the skills are nothing too special because the mythics have a very toned down set of skills, and so the first skill is that this is not scary, that deals moderate damage to one enemy, and then the second skill is wait Corey, that applies a 50% life shield to itself. Both are, I think, the default skills, and they'll have 0 cooldown. So if you want to have a good 0 cooldown skill, I would suggest that you run this is not scary because it deals moderate earth damage, and considering that this monster will usually have attack runes on him, so because this monster is an attacker, so this will be your opportunity to attack even if you have been activated by cooldowns, by some cooldown activating monster. And then we have No Maim's Way, that deals moderate earth damage to all enemies and applies daze to all enemies, requires cooldown. Now I actually like this skill a lot simply because there's this skill daze to all enemies, and daze reduces the accuracy of the enemy monsters by 25%, and that is amazing, coupled with this monster's tough trait, because now you are reducing accuracy by overall like 60%, so you have a 60% chance of not being hit, which is amazing because you won't be usually denied, you won't be affected by DOTs most probably, so that is a very good skill to have. Now the next skill is Bullet Train, that deals heavy earth damage to all enemies, requires cooldown. Now I am not sure how this skill exactly works. I think this is a typo, but if it is not a typo, that is a pretty damn awesome skill. Now why do I say that this skill is pretty damn awesome? Because if this deals heavy damage to all earth enemies twice, that will be dealing a lot of damage. So if that is truly the case, that will deal an amazing amount of damage, and even if this is a typo, it will still deal heavy earth damage. Now cosmic monsters have amazingly high attack stats, so you'll be dealing quite a bit of damage even with like level 7 strength runes and stuff. Then we have Five Nights Surviving, blocks out 50% of the damage received, heals itself by 30%, requires cooldown. Now I do not know whether this will stack with his rank 3 skill. If it does, that is reducing 100% of the entire damage output. That is basically space time, so that is a phenomenal trait to have if it indeed does stack. And again, this will be healing yourself by 30% as well. So on top of not receiving any damage from the incoming attacks for like 1 turn or 2 turns, depending on how long this lasts, you'll be also healing yourself by 30%. And that is why I said that it will be really hard to kill this monster. Then we have the next move, which is Time to Eat Tacos, that heals itself by 50% and removes all negative status effects from itself as well. Now, I am in favor of this skill a lot because it heals by 50%. That is recovering 50% of your life and also removing all negative status effects, presumably if you have one. And this can come in very handy if you have been possessed, because this will not be attacking any of your teammates, nor will it be buffing enemy monsters, but instead it will benefit you. So if you are in danger of being possessed, I suggest that you have a lot of these blocks out damage skills and healing skills so that you are not prone to being possessed, or even if you are possessed, you have a way to get out of it. Then we have Call Me Mr. Teddie, that deals heavy earth damage to one enemy, applies a 30% life shield to itself. Now, again, this is just a single target attack that will deal quite a lot of damage and also apply 30% life shield. So like I said, it will be very hard to kill this monster, and if this monster has a high life stat, you can be sure that it will take quite a lot of damage to get this monster out of the playing field. Then we have Eat the Frioles, that blocks out 50% of the damage received from all allies and also applies a 30% life shield to all allies, requires cooldown. Now this is again another phenomenal skill if it does stack with your rank 3 trait, and if it does not, still it will be reducing damage output by 50%, which will give your monsters a chance to survive, especially if there are legendary monsters. For example, if you're running any of the better legendary monsters like Rimblad, or you're going with Hornet, or any of those meta legendary monsters that are still being used despite Cosmics being introduced. So this will basically, that will give you a 30% life shield and also block out 50% of the damage, so you will have a chance of surviving the enemy's attacks, considering that they go first. Then I think we have the special, that is Gabriella, that applies Pierce to itself, deals very heavy earth damage to all enemies, deals very heavy earth damage to all enemies, removes Pierce from itself. Again, a phenomenal ultimate. And this is the one hit move that you need to, wipe out the entire enemy team, regardless of whether they have protective positive effects like evasion or like light damage protection, area dodge, etc. This will be your chance to wipe out each and every one of them. Now, I don't think that I have specifically mentioned runes for this monster, but like I said, this monster is an attacker, so I would suggest running 2 strength runes and 1 team speed or speed, depending on the situation. Also, the 4 skills that I would recommend are Eat the Frioles, that is very important, especially if you're running legendary monsters on your team. And then I would suggest running Call Me Mr. Teddie, that is a single hit move that will be dealing damage to the enemy and also be improving your tankiness, that applies a 30% life shield. And then I would recommend one of the AoEs, that is Bullet Train, that deals heavy earth damage to all enemies, and I do not know if it does it twice. If it does it twice, well and good, and even if it doesn't, it is still quite a heavy damage dealer. And if you do not want a lot of damage output and you're confident that all you need to do is reduce the enemy's accuracy, you can always go with No Man's Way, that deals more earth damage and applies daze. That will also work perfectly with your trait. Also, if you're scared of cooldowns, you can just substitute it with This Is Not Scary, that deals more earth damage to one enemy, and that's it, I think. So that is it, guys. Those are my skills, and that is my review for Teddie VR. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, if I have missed any of the combos or any ways that this monster can be run, or of better ways to run this monster, I am really open to all of you guys' suggestions and combos and tricks. Mention it down below, and also tell me whether you are excited for this monster or not. I, for one, am pretty excited, and I want to know how do you think this monster will be available inside the game. I personally think that this is a Legends Pass monster, paid Legends Pass monster, but we will have to see. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Now, before you go, if you have not already, please like the video, click on the subscribe button, and click on those notifications. I have a very special surprise coming your guys' way as soon as we hit 1K, so make sure to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, that is it for the video. See you in the next one. Peace out.